Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. I am so excited to share with you all my 2026 planner and journal lineup. Right here in front of me, I have 6 books. What I want to do first is to separate the planners from the journals, and that way I can get some space, but then I can really show you guys how I intend to use each one of these books in 2026. So let's go. What I want to do first is share with you the journals that I have for 2026. These journals have specific purposes, so it'll be easy to get through these quickly. The first journal is my Hobonichi 5-year. This went from 2025 and it goes through 2029. And the cover that I have is from Salty Katie Co. And this is called Clear Stars. And what I did was I wrapped some paper from the Graceful Muse Paperie. I wrapped the book with the paper and then put the clear cover on it. That's why you see that glare. But this 5-year planner is just so pretty to me. But how I use my 5-year planner is, in a nutshell, I write down something that my future self may want to read. So for the most part, I log about my day. I do some memory keeping with the family. Sometimes I'll write a prayer in here. Sometimes I'll write affirmations for myself to read next year. And in some pages, I've listed down some goals. So I might have said by this time next year, I want to do this. That way, as I continue to use the book each year, I'll see those things that I was thinking about in the years past. So that's how I'm using the 5-year. This is simply a Fairy Floss pink notebook from Sterling Ink. And it is the gridded notebook with approximately 272 pages. This notebook is something that I have had on my shelf for a while, and I've decided to make this a book journal. So as I'm reading certain books, I want to just put the highlight of the book in here. That way, if I want to reference a book or if I want to recall something that I read that stood out to me, I can just come in this book. And right now, there's about 4 books that I have in mind that I want to start reading. So those will go in here. And then for the last journal, this will be my faith journal. And let me go back. This is in one size. So this is standard size. And this is a Passport horizontal planner from Sterling Ink. But even though it's a dated planner, I will be using this as my faith journal. So in the monthly spread, my intention is to use this for gratitude. Because these boxes are really small, I'm not going to restrict myself to write in the boxes. If there's a day that I want to write extensive gratitude for, my intention is to just keep writing because it's my book and I don't have to conform to these lines. So that's the thought process behind this page, is to do gratitude and maybe even something that made me smile that day. So then when I get to the weekly pages, I do intend to make this the daily scripture of the day from the Bible app. I've tried to do that in different places, and I really just want one solid place just to write the scripture of the day. And then in the back is a place where I'll write down like heartfelt prayers and scriptures that I want to meditate on. So basically, this book is me and the Lord. So that's what these 3 journals will be used for. And now let's move on to the planners because there's a lot in those. All right, you all. So now we come to the planners. This is the official planner lineup for 2026. I have 3 books. 2 you've seen, 1 you have not if you follow my channel. So let's start off with the first planner on top, which is my Sterling Ink N1 planner. This is the planner that I have been using for the past 2 years here on my channel. I made a video discussing how important it is for me to go through and decide how I want to use each section of my planner. And as I've gone through the past few weeks, I have changed that system several times. And what I've decided is that I'm going to use this in one full year, which has 365 plus pages. I'm going to use this planner exactly how I've been using it this current year in 2025. So what I intend to do is on this page, this is the page that I'm not sure what I'm going to do with yet, but let me just show you. So currently how I use this page is for reference. I like to write down, when is the last time we had a service done to our home? When did my husband do something with the cars? When did I do something, maybe get my hair done? When did I get my daughter's braids? Things like that I need to go back and see when is the last time I did that. That's what I think that I'm going to put here, because it's really been helpful when I'm looking to schedule things to do. Now, in the past years, I have not used this left-hand side of the page, so I don't know how I'm going to use that in 2026, or if I just decide to cover it up and just have a blank page for something. I'm not sure, but I have not used this page here. In my monthly is my catch-all. This is where I keep everything that I need to know. I put my bill due dates here. And at the bottom, what I've done in previous years is that I'll put appointments and important dates. I've learned that I do not like to mix the two for whatever reason. So it's helpful for me to just put the events and the important dates at the bottom. That way, when I'm looking to plan, I know where to go. And when I need to see when my bills are due, it's clear. And so this is how I use my monthly. And if I didn't say it, this is the N1 horizontal. And this is just going to be my catch-all planner. I have a lot of videos on my channel on how I use this planner, but this will be my weekly overview. My to-do list, my work schedule, my trackers, my main task list all goes here. And the way I've been using it over the past few weeks makes it so I don't have to look any further to see everything that I need. I don't have to go any further than these 2 pages. So I will be doing Plan With Me's, of course, after this video, if you want to follow along with that, or you can check out some of the other videos on my channel. But this is how I will be using this page. I've attempted to change it. I thought I was going to change it, and I've decided that my system for me is working well, and I'm not going to disturb that. In the back is where I will put my main journal and maybe a little commonplacing. So my thought process is I'm going to, of course, do my pen test, but there's a few things that I do want to make sections for, not many. And then I'm going to use the rest to journal, because I don't journal every single day. So the list or the collections that I keep in this book will be things that I need to do or things that I need to reference on a regular basis. So we'll see how that goes coming soon. But this is the anchor to my system. This is the one planner that I cannot live without. Meaning, if I had to give up everything and I can only choose one planner, it would be this one. Now, this is where trouble has hit me for the second time. This is exactly what happened to me back in 2024. I was content in my horizontal planner. We were doing good. We were thriving. Mid-year, the planner companies had a sale. I bought me a MakseLife and I bought me a Sterling Ink Vertical because I was curious about the layout. I created such a mental mess for myself when I did that I said that I have to be very careful not to do that again. So how do we end up here this year? Well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So let me just tell you how I intend to use these planners. And actually, let me show you what happened to cause this mess, because I know what happened. This is what happened this year in 2025. Mid-year, I decided to purchase the second half of the A5 Vertical from Sterling Ink. I purchased this book mainly out of curiosity. I wanted to see if there was a way that I can use this A5 planner and possibly make it my one and only. So when I purchased this, as I started to use this book, I said, I want to use this for goals. My intention was to make myself a makeshift MakseLife planner. And I said in my videos that this is really, MakseLife was the inspiration for this book. So as I was treating this as my goal planner, I said that I wanted to document my activity. I also wanted to just log my goals that I was working on. So on this spread at the top, it was the exercise. I marked my daily steps. I logged my food, but that came later. I also put videos that I had posted. And then on the same spread is when I decided to do my weekly reflection. And I really did like this. There was nothing wrong with it. I thought that in 2026 that I was going to do the same thing, which is why I bought another A5 vertical planner, which you all know what will be happening with that one. It will be a giveaway. Okay. So when I was doing this, I really started thinking to myself, why am I trying to create something that already exists? That's how I ended up getting this MakseLife planner. The problem is that I had purchased this in-one vertical first. And this is the linen cover, you guys. So it is a bit more gold than it is beige. So I had purchased this first. So what I've decided to do, oh, and let me tell you this too. It was not until a few days ago that solidified how I want to use these two planners. I saw a video on the MakseLife YouTube channel that helped me. So that's why I was telling you guys, like, I'm not in a rush to start setting up my planners, not until I have an idea how I'm going to use them and I know what I'm going to do now. So let me go ahead and show you one more thing. A few weeks ago, I started playing around with this in-one weekly booklet, which is vertical, and I did purchase this for 2025. My intention when I bought this book was to time track. I'm learning that that is very important for me when it comes to meeting my goals. I've said a few times before, but I'm realizing that I overestimate how much time I have in a day. So I'll overplan and then I'll beat myself up for not accomplishing it. So when I purchased the in-one vertical, my plan was to do the same thing. I was going to go ahead and time track in here, and then I was going to make the back pages something else. I can't even remember. But now, since I have my MakseLife planner, and I saw what I saw on the page, which I'm going to show you, this really helps me decide how I'm going to use these two together, and they both will be for goals. Keep in mind, this is the anchor. This is where everything gets done. This is where I execute, and this is where I live life. This is where I come when I need to know what's going on. When I purchased the MakseLife, I purchased the vertical planner. And I put my Erin Condren dashboard here just to see if it will fit, and it does. So we'll just move that out the way. So let me zoom you in, because this is what I saw on the MakseLife YouTube channel. I'm not sure of the lady's name, but she showed how in her MakseLife, she put the times like right on the side, and she uses her MakseLife as an hourly planner. And when I was trying to figure out how I wanted to use this planner, this was not on my radar because I already had this. So let me zoom you back out for a moment. Because I already had a planner to time track in, I was not expecting this to make sense to me, but it does. So let me show you what I've done. And we're still in mid-November, so things could change. But what I've done is that on both sides of the margin, I just put the hours. And there's enough to do half-hour increments from 6 a.m. until 9 p.m. for me, or whatever schedule you like. You have 15 hours, okay? But what I also did was I broke these vertical boxes up into 3 equal boxes. And the MakseLife already has this box at the bottom. So what I intend to do is to use this space to time track. But I'm also going to set my goals here. So this is the book that could get quite messy, but let me give you an example of what it might look like. All right, so this is this current week, and this is me playing around with logging my work hours, logging appointments, and then putting in my goals in between, because it makes so much sense now. How can I plan something when I don't even know how much time I really have in a day? And like Tuesday, I wanted to do a lot of things on Tuesday, and I could have, but then we ended up scheduling a movie because it was Veterans Day, and my son is a veteran, so thank God for him. But this is a way for me to plug in those things that I want to do where I have the space. And that's when I decided that that's how I'm going to use my MakseLife planner, which makes sense. Because right before you set your goals with MakseLife, you reflect on the previous week. You take your areas of life and you kind of see what you want to focus on. And then you go ahead and plan your week. And again, I was attempting to do this in my Sterling Ink A5 planner. And that's when I said, just go ahead and just get the original. Like, it's dated. And for me, that's important, because if it's not dated, I try to justify myself not needing to use it. So this is how the weekly looks without any of my help, so to speak. What makes the MakseLife layout different though is that it starts this far left column with a Monday. And in the past, that has really messed me up because I'm used to this being like the notes section and then going Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. But with Moxie, they have a small, well, I'm not going to say small, but they have a half a page of note space here on the right. And they also have a built-in habit tracker, which is nice. And so that's when I said, you know what? I'm trying to create something that already exists. My thought was that I was going to take those monthly reflections and I was going to write them in the sterling ink. And again, it's like, girl, just buy the book that has everything in it. So that's what I like about the MakseLife planner, is that it has the monthly reflections. You have your monthly calendar, which I don't know how I'm going to use this yet. You set your February monthly goals, and then you break them up into weekly actions, and it's dated. And so what I'm going to do now, since I'm going to use this to plan this sterling ink vertical, let me get this Moxie out the way. Oh, and just to let you know, I have the Just Begin cover, and it is this beautiful like teal and navy. I really do like it. And now that the Moxie covers are interchangeable, this is the inside cover with just some nice inspiration. So that's why I picked this. And if I want to later in the year, I can take these off and then I can make this my front cover if I want to. So since I now have a place to plan my goals in the same place that I'm reflecting, I've decided to use this as my goal tracker. Because MakseLife has so many pages, it will be a little more difficult for me. Let's say we're in March, right? And if I look at March and I'm looking at my weekly actions, if I want to go back to February to see what I actually did, there's a lot of pages in between the months and the weeks. And this is one of the things that kind of deterred me from Moxie in the past. So you have your monthly, and I think I just showed this, but these are the actions. These are the plans. If I want to track what I've done, I can put it in the monthly, but week by week to see what I've done, you have to flip that extra page, and that's not what I want to do. I wanted a place where I can easily say, how did I do with my goals in this particular month? So now let me show you how I intend to use the sterling ink in one vertical. So for this annual page, this is where I will log my weight and my steps. Because weight loss and movement is one of my largest goals, it's going to go in here, and I can see my weight over the span of a year, and I can see my steps. I can see what months I'm doing better at and what months I'm not. And it's all on this 2-page spread, not a lot of flipping. So on this quarterly page, this is where I intend to take my habit trackers that I have for the week, and the most important things that I want to keep track of, I want to put this on this monthly spread in the quarterly section. So month by month, or for the quarter, I can see how am I really doing with these goals that I set. It's one thing for me to schedule the goal. I can plan them, but this will give me a bird's eye view of how I'm doing overall. And then in the quarterly section, I don't know if I'm going to reflect here or if I'm going to do maybe a summary. I'm not sure how I'm going to use this page yet, and I'm not going to worry about it. But this will be my habit trackers. It will be from my weekly, and then it will come here. Now on my monthly, this is how I'm using one of the books. Well, how I was using one of the books this year. But going forward, in my monthly, this is where I will log the YouTube videos that I've posted. If I post to Instagram, I'll put this on the monthly as well. And then because I am an aspiring author, I do want to put days that I work on my writing on the monthly spread. Again, at a bird's eye view, I can see exactly what I'm looking for. And then if I'm in March, and then I want to see quickly how many videos that I post to YouTube the month before, I don't have to flip a lot of pages. And so that's why I thought that it would be good to track the goals in here. Now, on my weekly spread, it's going to look similar to the A5 that I showed you guys, where I kind of documented my goals based on category. And I really did like that. But because this is more narrow, I may have to abbreviate it, and that's okay. But I'm going to track the workouts that I do on this page. I'm also going to document other things that I'm doing for myself. Maybe I didn't post a video and I didn't do certain things, but I want to come here to see, well, what did I actually do? Did I spend the whole day cleaning the house? That would make sense. Did I spend the day with the family and it was a spontaneous trip? So those are the things that I want to document. I still may end up documenting those in the MakseLife in some kind of way, but week to week things happen. And I like kind of noting, like in my A5, I had like a blank week. But at the bottom, I put it was back to school week. And for me going back, that would make so much sense as to why I didn't do some of the things I said that I was going to do. But this, again, this will be a page for me to just document the goals that I'm achieving. And then I can have them in a nice slim book because that MakseLife is heavy. And then because this is the compact planner, so it has 120 pages, I believe, 120 notes pages. And so in the back is where I'll just put notes. There's some things that I'm trying to learn as far as with YouTube and, the editing and things like that. So as I learn things that I want to remember, I can keep it back here. I can brain dump. I can put ideas. Like I don't have to have a purpose for this, which is why I bought compact. But that's where those ideas and stuff will live just until I can find a space for it. All right, so again with the planners, this is where I will set the goals. This is where I will schedule the goals because that is what I have not been doing. This is where I will set and schedule the goal. This is where I will live out the goal. This is life. And this is where I will document and track the goals. So I am so excited, you all. I believe that this is the system that I've needed. And I have a clear way on how I want to use these in 2026. So you guys, I want to thank you so much again for watching my video. As you see, I will be starting 2026 with 6 books. Yes, 6 books. I have 3 journals and 3 planners. And it makes sense to me. So, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I'm so excited about this. So now that I have my system together, now I can start decluttering and purging old notebooks and planners. But I can also start to get these set up for the new year. So thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.